Hi everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So in tonight's video, we're going to cover something that's extremely new and very exciting for spenders of the game, and for now, also valuable for free-to-plays. So of course, we're talking about the premium subscription service. And so I'll just go over a quick overview of how to get that if you haven't already done so. And I'll share my thoughts and feelings about, how much I think they cost in terms of relative value and whether or not I think it's worth it. So here we go. You just have to press on the, your Chronostone store to bring you to here. And you can see I'm in Canada, so this price reflects Canadian pricing. And for us in Canada, we do have to pay a tax as well. I have to pay 12% tax on any of these purchases. So the easiest way to put it is the Guide of the Heavens is the more expensive of the two. And for us, it's $45.99 with tax. And for the Guide of the Land, it's $6.99 per month plus tax. Now you can compare that to the 4,000 Chronostone package, and so obviously the Guide of the Land is extremely inexpensive compared to the Guide of the Heavens. So my quick math tells me that 3 months of Guide of the Heavens is approximately equal to about 5,000 Chronostones that are paid. So I added up the 4,000 discounted package and roughly 1,000 of the discounted package as well. So if you're wondering what you get with this, and I know this information is all out there, so I'm just going to do a quick overview as well. For the trial period, normally what you get is, for the Guide of the Heavens, you get something called a Celestial Spark, which essentially is a free ticket to be used within that first month or 30 days. On any banner that's a 10 pull, including paid banner, that means Faithfuls, Star Dreams, and so on and so forth, as well as free banners, although I don't know why you would do so, being that we would treat that ticket equal to 1,000 paid stones. For the free first month, we don't get it, obviously, but for any subsequent month, if you do continue on this subscription, you will get one as soon as that beginning of that month for you hits. Now for everybody, whether or not you're free to play or not, when you do sign in for the very first time, you get a 7 stars piece, and then you get it every 3 months after that. So the first month is usually nothing, but however you can see on the map here is 3 months and then 6 months, and I imagine 9 months, 12 months, and so on and so forth. The 7-star piece is essentially a mini Star Dream where you can choose any 7 5 stars into the game that's up to around 2 months before. And for those who are wondering, currently the newest unit available in that one, I believe, is Garum Barrel. So there's no AS, there's none of the newest AS units. That being said, you can definitely choose any 7 that you really want. If you want some help in choosing that, feel free to check out the Another Eden subreddit and Google or search for Star Dream, and you can kind of see what I would recommend or what other people have recommended. Okay, so again, won't spend that much time there. There's some other additional things here. There's the Trials of Heaven, which are found under the Trials tab, and I'll show you that shortly. It basically allows you to earn some free Chronostones, some Meow coins, which can be used to buy Meow skins or Meow equipment or cat equipment to kind of dress up your cat like main characters or other units. There is also something like Another Dungeon Insurance, which basically means if you die, you can keep all the rewards up to that. Keycard Plus means you can store additional keys instead of needing to burn them down from the 9 and 5 respectively. And Second Chance means you can continue without having to pay or watch a video, I believe, a couple of times. So note that the rewards for the trials doubles on the 3rd month onwards as long as you continue doing the subscription. Now for the Guide of the Land, again, for the very first month, normally you get what they call Guide of the Land Spirit, which is essentially a free 4.5 every month. So this trial period, you get none. However, if you do continue and pay, it's every month you get a free 4.5. It's out of the, I guess, a general banner, essentially. Again, all the newest units won't be in there. It'll be about 2 months old. However, it is a guaranteed 4.5, so it's almost like a mini Brilliant banner, except you don't get pulls 1 to 9. Again, Trials of Land is a lower version of Trials of Heaven. You still get less Meow coins, so the Trials of Heaven gives you 2 coins for the craft equipment. Trials of Land gives you 1. Also, you do get a few Chrono Stones and so on and so forth. Oh, one thing I forgot about the trials. They do give light and shadow points. So you can assign them to a unit once you finish that particular quest in the trials. Note that you cannot save them and it's not an item. As soon as you finish the trial, you need to use it immediately on a unit of your choice in your roster. So bear that in mind. The Heavens gives you 10 light shadow item points, essentially, and the land version gives you 5. And again, these are doubled if you keep on for 3 months or longer. Other than that, the Insurance, Keycard Plus, and Second Chance are essentially the same. So you can see that is the guaranteed 4.5. That is normally the Celestial Spark or a guaranteed, paid 1,000 stones. And they talk about the 7-star piece, which is, like I said, you can select any 7 5-star units and you'll get one of those 5. And this is the amount of rewards you get as well. So you can see that there's the light shadow upgrade, the trials of you also get the meow coins, which are for equipment, and the chrono stones that are only free. They're not paid stones, so bear that in mind as well. And I guess this month you can buy Fine, and although I think in future months they have extra. Now bear in mind that if you are starting a subscription in the middle of the month, in our case, we are in the beginning or the first week of November, if you activate it now, you will have the benefits for this month, which ends on November 30th. And I believe you'll also have the ability to earn the trials for December before your subscription runs out. That's what I understand. And you can see this here, November till December and so on and so forth. So not bad at all. I won't spend too much time on another dungeon insurance and so on and so forth, and Second Chance. But yeah. All right. So I guess my thoughts about this feature. So I'm going to spend a few minutes just talking about everything, and I do apologize if I run on. I hope to cover most aspects of either as a free-to-play player, a light spender, a moderate spender like a dolphin, and of course, if you whale out and spend a significant amount of money on the game. So first of all, at we'll cover the Guide of the Land, the cheaper one. At $6.99 Canadian, I mean, you're talking essentially, only 150 paid stones at most if you get the discounted, package. And in terms of the benefits you get, most of the benefits from the Guide of the Land depend on how far into the game you are. Now, if you are at the beginning, mid, or early end game and missing multiple units that can be upgraded to 5 stars, then having this Guide of the Land where you essentially get a free 4.5 that can be eventually upgraded to a 5-star will really help boost your roster. Your likelihood of hitting a dupe is low, especially if you don't have that many units and you're relatively new to the game. And so in this case, the Guide of the Land really adds a bunch of value to people in that situation. Now, comparatively, if you're taking my situation, for example, I'm only missing like 12 units in the game that can be upgradable to 5-star. And so my chance of hitting a dupe is extremely high in comparison to hitting something new. And so in this case, this 4.5 is not nearly as valuable as someone who's in a different situation. Now, in terms of the 60 or 120 free Chrono Stones, remember it doubles after the second month, I consider that negligible. That's only a couple of days of login. Still, stones are stones. And in terms of the light and shadow item, now this one is really interesting. I'll cover it again based on what I feel as free-to-play versus the end-game player. So if you are free-to-play, your chance of getting a 255 or a significant unit with tons of shadow and light is relatively low other than the ones you grind out. Like let's say for a gacha character, adding 5 light or shadow or 10 light or shadow may not be that significant. How you should look upon it is if you probably have a 4.5 that you pulled and you only have 4 or 5 light or shadow on it, adding 5 or 10 over time, especially since you do have a few probably extra light or shadow items from just various quests and things like that, can bring your 4.5 to say 16 light or shadow. Or the next break for stat bonuses is 30, and so on and so forth. You can use this to kind of round out any benefits to your team, especially if you have a unit that's, for example, at 75 shadow and you want that extra 5 shadow to bring it to 80 to have the 4 move slot. Other than that, again, if you're free to play, the benefit of that is relatively low. Now, if you're a mid, endgame, or a spender, you might find that this will be very, very useful in helping you either get to the next milestone for stat bonuses, or essentially for, boosting your team to even the highest levels, which is 255, in which case, if you do pull a gadget dupe, it'll give you literal items, guiding light or luring shadow items respectively, to use on a future unit that shares the same weapon type. In terms of the extra keys you get per month, the first one, which is the Guide of the Land, only gives you 10 extra green keys per month. I consider that, again, pretty negligible bonus. It's useful if you want to grind out a bunch of keys. However, we can buy 10 keys a month every week using Sabira's gem, and so I don't consider this nearly that valuable, although it's a nice little bonus. Again, the cat equipment, dungeon insurance, those are also really low value, although having extra cat equipment that can dress up as your favorite character could be beneficial to some. So to summarize that very, very quickly, the Guide of the Land at $6.99 Canadian, not bad if you're missing a ton of units that could be, to round out your roster. Other than that, I mean, the benefits of light and shadow is probably more useful for people who already spend a fair amount on the game and really just want to round out those stat bonuses at certain break points. And again, the extra keys and other bonus things, the Meow coin is just minor bonus, more cosmetic than anything else. Now, in terms of the Guide of the Heavens, keep in mind that, again, if you buy 3 months of Guide of the Heavens in my country, it is essentially equal to 5,000 paid stones. And so the view on how valuable this is really depends on the other benefits over the, just the basic Celestial Spark. So keep in mind that 3 months of the Guide of the Heavens, you need to use that Celestial Spark each month. It cannot be saved or stacked. And so you actually, that is a big disadvantage versus having paid stones where you can save it for the emergency when a Star Dream comes along or your featured Fateful that you really want comes out. Now again, don't forget that in 3 months of a paid subscription, you also do get that mini 7 stars piece where you get an extra 5 star as well of 7 that you really, really want. And so you can't discount the fact that it's almost like a mini Star Dream, and that is, I would value that as close to another Fateful pull. So you can argue that out of 3 months of membership, you do get 3 paid 10 pull tickets, which is the Celestial Sparks, plus the 1 guaranteed 5-star of a unit you want that's slightly older. The Guide of the Heavens also includes extra Chrono Stones. Again, these are considered free stones, so not paid stones to be used towards paid banners. And it gives you quite a bit more light or shadow items. Again, once you earn it, you must use it on a unit of your choice that's currently in the roster. That again, it also has some extra green and red keys. Not bad. And the aforementioned Meow coins, which are used for cat equipment, dungeon insurance, and so on and so forth. So this, in my opinion, is very, very useful if you're already a fair bit of a spender and or a whale. And the reason for that is that if you're probably spending all the time, you're probably pulling at least 1 Fateful every month anyway, in which case that Celestial Spark will be very, very useful for you. After 3 months, you can round out your roster with someone you may not have hit or didn't spend enough money to get, in which case that's not bad at all. And you are losing 1,000 stones worth of paid stones. However, you still get all those extra light and shadow for 3 months, as well as all those extra keys, which can help if you really need to grind out chants and treatises. I can't be sure that you would really need that in the if you're a spender, since you probably have tons of chants and treatises left over. You probably hit all those units earlier on. And so the keys aren't that valuable for a significant spender. but the light and shadow items are. Because for many spenders in your level, Dolphin or higher, you probably have units that are either close to, 100 plus, 150. Those extra light and shadow items can really push your units to that significant 200 mark. And 200 I chose arbitrarily because you get the 4th Grasta slot, which really powers up the DPS or stats on your unit. And so at 200, your unit is significantly more powerful than, say, someone who's free to play who only has 16 or 32 light or shadow. Not only that, but if your units are already close to 255, use that extra 15 or whatever light shadow bonuses you get from this Guide of the Heavens and push it to 255, so the next time you hit a dupe, instead of complaining, you'll have those light and shadow items to max out yet another unit on your team. So again, for heavier spenders or moderate spenders who are already spending every month, this is a pretty decent value. Keep in mind you're giving up about 1,000 paid stones for 3 months of all the other benefits, which are the light and shadow, and the extra cat equipment and so on and so forth. Now, the problem is if you are an extremely light spender, and how I determine that is if you're a light spender that only buys Star Dreams, for example, say you only buy it a couple times a year. The Guide of the Heavens is not nearly as valuable to you as someone who spends a fair bit. And the reason why for that is, like I mentioned earlier, you cannot save that Celestial Spark. You need to use it that month. And if you don't find anything that's extremely awesome, guess what? You have to force yourself to use it anyways. And so not only that, but you can argue that if you're a really light spender, buying a 4K paid package of stones, which is less than 3 months of membership or of the subscription, can buy you 4 Star Dreams, which can choose 4 guaranteed units that you want, no questions asked. And the only difference is that you have to wait for the Star Dreams, which show up occasionally, 2 or 3 times a year at most. And so if you're a very light spender that only buys Star Dreams and nothing else, I would say that this package and this premium subscription model isn't probably the best for you. Although if you're planning to jump from extreme light spender to light or moderate spender, then this is a good way to bridge that gap, being that, like I said, all those extra benefits can be beneficial to you, especially if you do value light and shadow bonuses. Now, in general, if you don't like light and shadow bonuses, you're not planning to max out your units, either as a light spender or heavy spender, then these packages probably don't have nearly as much value to you as some of the just buying paid stones. And keep that in mind, you really need to put a lot of value into the extra bonuses, which are these cat equipment, the light and shadow, and so on and so forth. Even the keys, like I said, aren't really worth a lot. You're really buying this for the 7-star piece in the case of Guide of the Heavens, or the free 4.5 every month, which is the Guide of the Land. And then moving forward from that. And then, of course, having bragging rights of dressing up your cat in any which way you want, like the character you want to do. And you can just obviously mix and match your outfits. All right, so anyways, that's a lot to cover. And so hopefully that gives you kind of an idea of how I value these packages. Now, from a completely free-to-play perspective, keep this in mind. These subscriptions run for 30 days when you first activate them. And so if that's the case, make sure you activate them at the time of your choice. You'll have the rest of the month to earn all the trials, and make sure you do that to get all those meow coins and activate those extra green keys, red keys. If you have those, make sure you get all those light and shadow things from the trials. Here, I'll just show you those actually really quickly. And then when the month rolls over from November to December, you have a few extra days to run it and earn the trials again. Keep in mind that if you don't want to spend any more after this, cancel the trial 2 days minimum before 30 days is over. So in the case of right now being this November 8th, I would recommend canceling on December 5th or so, just to make sure you don't get charged the second month for no reason if you don't want to spend additional. So you can see these are all the trials that you can earn. It only gets unlocked by subscribing, and so I haven't subscribed yet, as you could clearly have seen. And make sure you earn all those, before moving on. And these are the tokens you get. Not to mention, you have a few personal quests that you can learn some background as well. So I forgot to mention that. I consider that like okay value, since you could probably find a YouTuber to put some of those quests up. So yes, definitely one month for free to play can be used for at least, you know, those 2 months and earn all those trials and then cancel it quickly. One last thing I would like to mention, I'm on iOS and I have children. Now, you do need an individual iTunes Apple ID for each member of your family logged into the App Store in order for you to have separate subscriptions. For myself, I actually share my ID with the rest of my family. My 2 older children are old enough that they can use their own, and so they can activate their own subscriptions. However, my youngest is not nearly old enough. He activated his today, and I am not able to activate mine because it says I already own a subscription. So bear that in mind. If you do share Apple IDs in your family, or say your significant other, you'll need 2 separate IDs at least on the App Store and Apple in order to maximize that and have both of you use those benefits. So again, if I were going to convert from free to play to using these subscriptions, I think I would try it out for a couple months. Keep in mind that, remember that you get benefits at the 3rd month, and since we have 1 month free, you're actually only spending 2 months worth to get 3 months, the 3rd month, that 3rd month benefit, which is in the case of the heavens, you get another 7-star piece. In the case of the land, you know, you get a 4.5 every month anyways. And so hopefully, you know, if you find those extra benefits worth it, go for it. If you don't, well, you know, I understand that as well, being that a lot of people do feel that spending, in my case, 30-something Canadian for 1 5-star unit, a little bit pricey for most people. However, again, the game is amazing. The devs have made it so that free-to-plays can succeed and you know, and be fruitful, as well as paid players can get maximum DPS and a lot of stats for their units. Hey, a little bit something for everyone. And so, you know, if you do decide to spend money on the subscriptions, great. If you don't feel bad and don't feel jealous. I mean, it is your choice personally to spend money or not. I do think this is a great option for WFS to put out for people of all spending levels to decide if they want some of these benefits, of which there are a few that are very intriguing. Anyways, let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with some of my comments, if you have any other insight or opinions, and I'll try my best to respond to them as I can, you know, throughout the next few days. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.